Right, wonderful. So, the marketing mingle tonight is all about 5 lucrative niches that no one's talking about yet. Now, one of them niches you might think, well, some people do talk about that, but I think it's underexplored because it's a huge niche. But you'll know what I mean when I get to that one. So, this is in a particular order. So, the first one is the performer's mindset or stage confidence. So, if you think about it, you've got performers out there, and they're usually very emotionally driven people. They're very passionate. That's what I mean about what they do. And they're very open to mindset work, and they're always desperate for a breakthrough, aren't they? Especially musicians, actors, and sometimes things get in the way. Their psychology gets in the way. And they know that the mental edge is what they need to invest in. So there's a niche: performers, people who are on stage. And it's easy to find people who are on stage because there are such things as drama schools. There's such things as open mic nights. There's such things as local theatre groups. And they're usually really friendly people as well. I know I had some people who are in the Amdram, that they call it, who lived next door to me. And they were great people, and they loved to share what they did. And I know that if I had done what I do now back then, they would certainly been interested to talk about mindset and helping them. And they also have lots of online communities as well. So imagine if you put something together that was like a pre-show preparation or audition mindset sessions or something for performance anxiety as a bundle. It's a niche. It exists. And there are so many people. And I think the main thing is, if we go back to that first line, is that performers are emotionally driven. The arts, they take it seriously. And they really do value that mental edge. So there's the first one. So the second one is support for new mums, postpartum emotions, identity shifts. I can see Gwen smiling here, being a midwife. But the reality is, mums talk and they recommend what helps to other people. You don't need anything fancy for this niche, and I don't mean that in a negative way. You quite simply need to be visible. And again, there are local groups, parenting groups, local mum and baby circles, because we'll have all known someone who struggled after having a child. It's very, very common. The whole identity shift as well, just coming to terms with that big shift in the world where, they are the center of attention, or husband isn't the center of attention, and we know that the dynamics, are affected. So you might know somebody. And again, you're working with overwhelm, anxiety, sleep, confidence, identity. They're all things that we work with commonly. But when we focus them in that direction, then we can get a lot of attention on what we're offering. And the little idea there is think calm and confident motherhood sessions. Really target the branding of it. That could be a great starting point. So there's another niche that some of you might not have thought about. So another one is perimenopausal and midlife reset. Obviously, the target audience is women between 40 and sort of 55, maybe a little bit older. A disposable income, quite often seeking holistic solutions, because sometimes traditional medicine just isn't helping. And hypnosis is absolutely fabulous for mood swings, for body confidence, for sleep, for relationship shifts, reimagining their identities after the children have left, after their careers have changed. Now, I know that this is a big industry in America, not so much here in the UK. So another one to explore. Packages. You could put a great packages, pre-recorded packages for something like this. These are the type of clients that you might be able to get onto a coaching package more of a long term, where you're giving them recordings to listen to in between. Stuff you've already got in your toolbox that you can repurpose and brand and target that audience. So that's number 3. Number 2. Now I know sleep issues, insomnia relief, but there are specialist areas in this niche. You know, it's common. It's not stigmatized, but people are desperate for help. Now, there are niches within this niche. So if you think about it, we just talked about other niches that the problem with insomnia. Shift workers. There's a niche in itself. Great difficulty getting to sleep or getting their whole rhythms, the circadian rhythm back if the shifts change. And some companies just don't really care. I mean, I know somebody who works shifts and they'll just change the shifts around without really considering the impact it's having on that person. So imagine putting together a package for shift workers. But obviously there's other, sleep issues. You could create a short video series. There's a lady in our village. She listens to my sleep hypnosis recording on a regular basis that I've got on my website. And she often jokes. She says, I often fall asleep listening to your voice, Kev. My husband's a policeman and he's much taller than I am. But yeah, there's some great benefits there. Something that you can promote. It's not stigmatized. It's something that you can promote that is very, very common. You spoke to 5 people, I bet one of them would be struggling in some way, shape or form with sleep. And we know that hypnosis is absolutely brilliant for that. I remember doing a session with Freddie Jacquin, and he gave me an anchor to get to sleep quickly. I still use it to this day. That was 5 years ago. I can fall asleep within about a minute. I'm just gone. And I can just feel that wave coming over me. What an amazingly powerful thing to give to clients. And it takes minutes. It's a real good proof of theory as well, working with people with sleep issues. So there we have 4 there to get us started. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump out of here because I'm not a big fan of doing PowerPoint type displays. And let's just open it up for 5 minutes to see if anyone's got any questions or anything they want to share with what I've just shared there on those 4 niches. Anything coming up for anybody? Just unmute yourself and fire away, Gwen.
Yeah, the support for new mums. There's also a lot of public health nurses that work with young mums. There's Home Start is a big thing, working with young mums. So that would be really interesting to work. I actually did look at a parent support session from my website, and that looks as though it might well complete it.
Excellent.
Yeah,
brilliant.
So that looks really good.
Brilliant. Thanks, Gwen. Anybody else got any questions coming up? Anything that, if you just put your hand up, because there's a lot of you.
I mean, people on. Hi, Kev. John.
John.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
Yeah. I like that. really nice to see my niche in there already. It's perimenopause women.
Excellent.
Yeah, I've done actors before in the past, but I never thought about it as a niche, because I always think it's a city thing because that's where the actors are, but it's probably not true because there's Amdram and everything all around the country.
No, brilliant. And that's good. And that's good. And I had a feeling that some of you would already be in some of these niches.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, and how do you find that niche, John? Are you finding that niche?
They find me.
Right.
I don't go out asking for it, but they all turn up.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
How do the turn up? What do you mean by the turn up? At your door?
No, not at the door. They don't come knocking, but no, they all of a sudden they get an email and say, "Can I work with you?"
Excellent.
And the other niche on that one is actually childhood abuse when they were children, which I seem to pick a lot of those people up as well.
Right.
Which is a really nice thing to work on, but it's quite disturbing at the same time.
Of course, yeah. Well, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Okay.
Now, I think somebody else was going to say something as well, just as John started to speak then. So do you just want to unmute yourself? Or maybe I was mistaken. Or does anybody else have any other questions? Hi, Terry.
Hi, Kev. Thanks for doing this. Yeah, I had a question regarding the first one, performer's mindset and stage confidence. Just working with musicians and all, students, music schools, drama schools. I'm just wondering if that's lucrative in the way of, I think of struggling students, and do they really have the disposable income, as you described, to support their psychological need in this?
That's a good question. And when I was doing the research, I mean, it really pointed towards parents. The demographic needs to be, the audience needs to have some disposable income as far as that's concerned. So if musicians, quite often, I know my brother encouraged my nephew to learn the guitar at about 4, and he's now an accomplished recording artist, but dad was always behind him and still is. Now he's in his 40s. And so I think, it's a bit of a team effort when it comes like that. I wouldn't be expecting students to be to coughing up the money for things like that, but it may be that you find, and that's often, again, with sports as well, performance. In America, when the kids are really getting into the soccer and things, the parents are there, on the sidelines, physically and emotionally and financially. So I think that's, again, it's like one of those interests, pastimes, or vocations. Parents are there and they're behind them. So that's where the audience, that is your target audience, where the parents.
Yeah, knowing who to market to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Brilliant. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Kev. So just following on from that question, I suppose to answer that question a little bit more as well. So I'm a musician and I struggled really badly with performance anxiety, and I worked with a hypnotherapist for performance anxiety as a musician. And that's how I ended up being a hypnotherapist, because I then trained. My hypnotherapist was trained by the Jacquins. She's somebody I studied with at uni. And I then trained with the Jacquins to become a hypnotherapist. And actually, I've in the process of building a course for performance anxiety for musicians. And you are spot on, Kev, that if you targeted university students, it would be the parents. I mean, if you look at places like, so I live in Glasgow, so we've got the Royal Conservatoire in Glasgow. In Manchester, there's the Royal Northern, there's all the colleges down in London. If the parents have invested money in sending their children to these places, there is disposable income to be able to support that. And my parents supported me as a musician. And if I'd asked them for that kind of support at the time when I was at uni, they would have provided that for me. But there are other ways. I mean, you can target orchestras. I've emailed musical institutions. I've emailed orchestras and sort of reached out to people and worked with people. So it is possible to do.
And thanks for sharing all your secrets as well, because everybody knows now.
But that's okay. That's what we're here for, isn't it?
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm big on sharing secrets. That is great. Thanks, Andy. Superb. And yeah, I just think, you know, we have these questions about, oh, will that happen because, and quite often it's a matter of doing a bit of research and realizing that your ideal audience isn't everybody in that niche. Your ideal audience is everybody in that niche that can afford it. You know, without sounding bloody minded, you've got to target it correctly. So it may be certain colleges, certain institutions, but certainly targeting, focused your efforts. And that's what works when you focus your efforts. Yeah, time for one more question. John.
Yeah, it's following on from niching in the music industry. I've got a friend in America, and his niche is soprano opera singers. He's out of Boston, but he does most of his work in Berlin. Right. Work that one out, yeah, because he does a lot of what he does. Obviously, it's not hypnotherapy, but you can still model it. So he does lots of online stuff, and warms them up online, and then has a big group meeting in Europe somewhere, because that's where most of his clients are.
Excellent. Yeah, and if you make a name for yourself, and you seem to be providing a service, you're in service of that niche, then your name will soon get passed around.
Yeah, and he's always busy.
Brilliant. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Gwen, have you got your hand up?
Yeah, I think sometimes with some of these groups as well, direct marketing might help rather than just internet, you know, actually just an envelope and a stamp and an actual letter.
Old school, absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of these organizations do actually like to get a letter.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean, especially if there's a committee or there's somebody behind it. Usually you've got somebody who's the pioneer, haven't you, behind an organization like that. I know in my local fishing group, it's just one person and you have to write letters to him, which I think is lovely. I'm with him on that. I'm with him on that one. Fabulous. Okay, right. Well, we'll dive back in and we'll look at the number one, the one that we believe is number one. So I'm going to share my screen again and make sure I'm sharing my sound. So share, and we'll move on to that. So just give me a thumbs up there. Gwen, can you see the screen again? Okay, wonderful. Okay, so number one, we believe is the relationship healing niche. Now, I'm not talking about the dating niche, so don't get any ideas about that. It's the relationship healing niche. And the reason why we believe that is number one is because divorce is more common than ever. And people want help healing. You know, 42 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce in the UK and US. That is scary. And most people who divorce will date again within a year. But they report that they've got emotional blocks and trust issues or the fear of repeating the past. And we all know all the stories and we've all heard it, you know, where people go from one bad relationship to the next. I mean, I'm sick of hearing the expression narcissistic and all that kind of stuff. You know, there's a whole industry built around it in that sense. And from good sources, 67% of people say that their breakup had a significant negative impact on their mental and emotional health. That is huge. So there's a huge demand for support. And you don't get a lot of support in traditional therapy. They might make you an appointment with a counsellor in 6 to 8 months' time or suggest you have some medication. Breakups trigger mental health crises for people. 1 in 3 people report experience depression or anxiety after a major breakup. A lot of them feel lost or stuck for months, if not years afterwards. And we know that if they don't work through those emotional patterns, those limiting beliefs, then it's going to follow them into the next relationship. And that's why hypnotherapy is perfectly placed to help to address those issues. Confidence, self-worth. We all know they're all expressions that we use, that we, have been taught methods for. And the audience of over 40 and single is growing. And they're seeking meaningful support. Can you believe that? The amount of single adults over 40 has increased by 40% in the last decade. Somebody said to me the other day, every time I talk to somebody, somebody's splitting up. But that group has a disposable income. They've got life experience and they understand that they can benefit and they want that support. I mean, the good news is that single people say that they are open to new relationships, but they fear that vulnerability and that repeated disappointment. So we're not talking about dating advice or anything like that. We're talking about emotional healing, getting some clarity. So why is it lucrative for hypnotherapists? Well, the clients are motivated because, the clock is ticking. We've already heard that expression, haven't we? They're stuck on the shelf, whatever expressions you want to come up with, because heartbreak hurts. They want relief. They're willing to invest, both emotionally and financially. And once you establish yourself as a specialist in that niche, then there are other areas where you can help them with confidence, self-worth, anxiety, intimacy coaching. And you can do this through group programs. You could do it as audio packages so people can just listen to it. You could do coaching bundles, one-to-one sessions, number of one-to-one sessions. So all of those things are possible. And that's why, from our research, we felt that this was the absolute number one niche. Now, I'm going to put a link into the chat now. Now, some of you might want to just go and have a look on that link and explore that page. I am actually going to play the video from that page now on the screen, but I'll just put the link in so it's there. So if, Gwen, if you can tell me if you can see the video screen there, and just tell me if you can hear the speaking once it comes up.
Hey there! Have you ever wished you could help more clients heal their broken hearts, but just didn't have the time to create all those materials from scratch? I totally get it. That's why I'm so excited to tell you about the Finding Love Again system. It's basically everything you need to transform yourself into a relationship healing specialist, practically overnight. Let me walk you through what makes this system so special. First, you'll get 6 professional hypnotic scripts that cover the entire healing journey. There's Healing After Heartbreak, which helps clients transform their pain into wisdom. Building self-worth, because we all know that's the foundation for any healthy relationship. Breaking old patterns. This one's a game changer for identifying those unconscious patterns that keep tripping clients up. Opening to new love helps them become ready for meaningful connection again. Choosing wisely develops their ability to select compatible partners. And welcoming love helps them balance new relationships with everything else in their life. The best part? Each script follows our proven 5-section framework, so they're super powerful but also incredibly easy to deliver. Just read them as is, or add your personal touch. But wait, that's just the beginning. You'll also receive a gorgeous 50-page client workbook journal. This extends your impact way beyond your sessions with assessments, journaling prompts, and practical exercises for each stage of the healing journey. Your clients will have support between sessions, creating faster results and higher satisfaction. Can you imagine your clients telling their friends, "This is the most comprehensive relationship support I've ever experienced"? That could be your new normal. And because I want you to succeed right away, I'm including our therapist implementation guide that shows you exactly how to use these materials effectively. You'll discover how to assess clients, create service packages, transform scripts into premium audio products, implement group programs, and price your services for maximum value. This isn't just scripts. It's a complete business system for relationship healing. Now, here's where it gets even better. For a limited time only, you'll also receive our complete Marketing Toolkit, $197 value, absolutely free. This amazing toolkit includes everything from market positioning templates and website content to email sequences, social media content, a client attracting quiz, workshop slides, consultation scripts, and objection handling guides. It's literally everything you need to market yourself as a relationship specialist. And because I really want to make this irresistible, I'm adding 2 more incredible bonuses. Super bonus number 1, the Finding Love Again 42-page social media launch kit, with 30 pre-written posts, a 5-week campaign strategy, and content for different client types. It's like having a marketing expert working for you 24/7. This is a done-for-you resource that you can rinse and repeat. Super bonus number 2, the beautiful Finding Love Again novel, a 1 in 12-page storybook with 6 tales that perfectly match your therapy scripts. You can brand it as your own and give it to clients, connecting with them emotionally through stories that mirror their experiences. This is the perfect gift for your clients. You can turn it into blogs or use it for lead generation. The options are endless. So why specialize in relationship healing? Well, it's an evergreen market. People will always need help healing from heartbreak. These clients are deeply motivated to solve their problems. You can charge higher fees than for general therapy. And surprisingly, there's very little competition for comprehensive relationship healing. To confirm, you're getting all 6 powerful components that create a complete done-for-you business in a box. 6 professional hypnotic scripts worth $77 each. The comprehensive client workbook is valued at $147. The therapist implementation guide is valued at $197. The marketing toolkit, another $197 value. The social media launch kit is worth $127. The Finding Love Again novel, another $97 value. That's over $1,197 in value. This isn't just a product, it's a complete business solution that pays for itself. This is a time-limited offer, and the promotion price advertised on this page may change or be removed at any time. The sooner you implement this proven system, the sooner you'll see your practice grow with ideal, committed clients who are ready to do the work. This done-for-you evergreen revenue stream gives you instant access to everything you'll ever need to build an exponential, profitable therapy business. No guesswork, no trial and error. Follow our proven system and watch your income grow. Click the Order Now button below this video and get started today.
She says it much better than I would. So just to recap on that, and some of you may have already gone on to the sales page here, that we've put everything together. We've put the scripts, and those scripts follow that framework that we talked on. Now, the framework that these scripts follow is also the framework. If any one of you have bought any of the Visionary Vault scripts, then these scripts follow that framework. It's a 5-step framework. And there's 6 scripts: healing after heartbreak, building self-worth, breaking old patterns, opening to new love, choosing wisely, and welcoming love. And the next part is the Client Workbook journal. That's split into 6 sections. So each section relates to the 6 scripts. So it's logical in that sense. So what's happening is that between sessions, you're getting them to go through that workbook journal, and they can track their progress, and they can really get a vision of how they're developing in that process. And then we've got the implementation guide, so you can see exactly how to implement all of this. So you're not having to guess how to do it. You're being shown how to do it. And it's very, very structured in the way that it's laid out. And then moving down, we've got the Marketing Toolkit. And as I say, 128 pages. I think I've actually added another 8 pages since we did the sales page. We've actually added a few extra things since the video. And that's why I'm going through this page now, because I don't want to miss those things out. We've added even more value to it. I think it's getting on for about $1,500 value altogether. And then obviously we've got the audiobook version. So we've created an audiobook, the same voice that you've just heard presenting that video. We've created an audiobook. It's split into 6 sections, 6 chapters. Each one tells a story that relates to the nature of the scripts, professionally narrated. Absolutely superb. Now, you could take those audio files, they're between 25 and 38 minutes each one, and there's 6 of them, and you could take those audio MP3s and you could put them on your website and embed them there. So you've got your client going back to, it takes them back to your website to look at the other things that you're offering, which is super important. So again, it gives that continuity. You've got the clients coming back to your website, or you could find other ways of using those audios. You can use them once you've purchased it. You can use them however you want. We're not going to restrict it. The only thing you can't do is turn it into an audiobook and put it on Amazon, because that would be detrimental. And we've got, as I said, the social media launch guide in there. There's lots of posts that we've already done, a 5-week strategy as well. And my page is just jumping about a bit there. Let's see what else we've got at the bottom here. I have to scroll using my mouse for something's happened to my mouse. I think it's because I've got this in the way here. So let me just move that. And then we can grab hold of that and move it down. So, and obviously you get the novel as well, 6 chapters, which are all related to the scripts. And I was just, I was listening to the audio earlier, and it's absolutely wonderful. So it's the perfect niche. So you're probably wondering, so how much is all of that going to cost? And if my screen would stop moving about, I can show you. So you've got the value of about £1,521 there. And yet the charge for this is $347. Now the price will increase on Monday, midnight, to $497. So there's a $150 saving there, which is only for the next 3 days. So that's it in a nutshell. Everything that you're getting, the hypnotic scripts, the client workbook and journal, the implementation guide, the marketing toolkit, the audiobook version of the novel, the social media kit, and the novel, and 100 images, relationship images as well, that you can use in any way, shape or form. So yeah, I think we're keeping well on time there. So what I'll do is I'll stop sharing my screen and we'll come back into the room.
Kevin, I just want to mention you dropped the link there earlier and it didn't seem to work for people. So I've just checked that and I realized actually there was something that was blocking that. So everyone, I apologize for that. You should be able to see that link now. If you click in the chat, you'll be able to go there. Thank you. Okay,
wonderful. Sorry about that, everybody. Just something else that I'd like to share is that within the implementation guide, there's a really good tool. And I'm just going to show you that quickly because I've got it up on my screen, and just see if you can, if somebody can just give me a thumbs up if they can see it. And that, brilliant. So that essentially is in the implementation guide. It gives you a little bit of a tracking device in a sense. So you can find out if your clients recently are heartbroken or stuck in grief or repeatedly chosen unhealthy partners. And that will give you an idea of where the primary focus is. So you can meet them where they're at, which is really important when it comes to helping people emotionally. You've got to meet them where they are. This ain't just a set and forget type of system. If you can really structure this and gear this towards your clients, and that's what this does. And it has the primary focus and a secondary focus. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because I think that is a really, really valuable aspect. That there's quizzes and questionnaires within the actual the client workbook and journal as well. It's stuff to get them to ask themselves some really, really good questions about their behaviors, about their choices, about their blocks, about their limited beliefs. But it's done in a way that is fun as well. And it's about building a relationship with your client. And that's what this program does. So I just wanted to share that bit because that kind of, to me, that felt really important, even though it's just one page out of hundreds of pages in this entire system. I just think it was important to share that, to show that you're not just sort of pinning a tail on a donkey. It's just not just a set and forget thing. You are putting some real thought and effort into this and helping people. So we've got the link problem queued, hopefully, on that. I'll open it up for questions. We've got a bit more time. I haven't really got anything else to share. You've been very patient, and thanks for sticking with us and watching the video. So yeah, any questions coming up from anyone? Leonora.
Kev, I just wanted to ask a question because I'm busy having to renew my insurance. And I had a question to the insurance provider about group sessions and also audios. And they seem to be a bit sticky about it. So I just wanted to find out what insurance companies people are using, and is there no problem with group sessions, audios? Because I'm assuming we could also perhaps put these audios as part of the program. Doesn't always have to be a one-to-one session.
No, this is designed to create as a package that you can sell as a package to someone. It's created so you could do it as a group session, whether that's live or in person. You could do it as one-to-one with people. I've never had an insurance company. I mean, my insurance company, the only thing they asked me was that insisted that I didn't do past life regressions. And I just explained I deal with the here and now. And that was it. And that a few people have asked me about that as well, about insurance. So I guess it really is down to the insurance company that you're using, but I can't see why any insurance company would have any problems. You know, if you're supplying hypnosis recordings, then obviously you're going to put in there a disclaimer to say, please do not listen to these while, riding your bicycle. Do you know what I mean? Or jet skiing or something, to get the point across. But that would really be, that would be about as far as it would go, as far as I'm concerned. And working with groups, never heard anything from insurance companies about working with groups.
Yeah, I found that a bit strange as well. Okay, I'll do a little bit more chatting to them.
Okay, thanks, Leonora.
Thank you.
Hi there, Naomi.
Yes, I was wondering what techniques or protocols are included in the hypnosis scripts.
In the hypnosis scripts, well, they have inductions, deepeners. Obviously, they have the awakening, and there it really has. Look, it's kind of like the prompts that I use to create these. I've put a lot of time into them. There's NLP. There's certainly a little bit of Ericksonian hypnosis in there. They're a real blend. But anybody here who's already used some of the hypnosis scripts that we've put in the Visionary Vaults will tell you that they're so easy to deliver as well. That's the thing. And we've been getting reviews coming back from people in the last week. I mean, they've not been out there very, very long, but we've had people coming back with the reviews in the last week to say that they're incredibly easy to deliver and very effective. In fact, Leslie's here with us tonight. You've been using them very effectively, haven't you, Leslie? The scripts from the Visionary Vault.
Yeah. I'm working with an insomnia client at the moment, and I've used the Sleep Temple with her, and I've also used the free one that was the bubble on another client, and they really liked that. That was the free download, so I just used it. I thought, I'll just see what this is like.
And you enjoyed the structure and how they're laid out and easy to read and no complicated language in there.
Oh no, it's easy. Yeah.
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 Okay. Thanks, Leslie. Does that answer that question for you, Naomi?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for asking that. Hi, Jane.
There we go.
Yeah,
Couldn't
there you
find the
are.
button. Hi. Really
Hi.
great to be here. I can't usually make a Thursday, so I'm delighted to be here tonight. I just wanted to say I think your scripts are absolutely fab. And what is super fab is the prompts you've put up. Because I've been using your prompts and getting some really great material out of GPT. So I thought I'd say, wow, thank you very much. And encourage anybody else to try them too.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, Jane. That's
The
wonderful.
screeds of prompt you put in, though, isn't it? It's about 2 pages worth, but I mean, it's brilliant.
There's been a lot of work developing
see.
those prompts. Yeah, a lot of work, and I'm constantly sort of adapting them as well. But I've got about 3 lots of AI working on these things in order to not get too stuck in the same old rut. But yeah, they're proving really effective. I worked with a client the other day with a very unusual case, and that was somebody who suffers from cervical dystonia, so a problem with the neck, and I think that they say it's a neurological problem. And he absolutely loved. He's worked with people before, and he absolutely loved the script. And he said it created so much powerful visuals for him, and it was really. He said it was right up his street. He thoroughly enjoyed it. So that's the kind of feedback we're getting from people. Really, really good.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, thanks, Jane.
Thank you.
Hi, Andy.
Hi there. I just wanted to ask, following on from that, so I too have been using the scripts. I used the sort of anxiety loop, relaxation loop one with a couple of people this week. One was a musician with performance anxiety. One was just somebody with general anxiety. And it was amazing both times. Where can we find the last person who was just talking? Sorry, I think her name was Jane, maybe.
Yeah.
Where can we find the prompts that she was talking about?
Right. Well, I think the prompts are in the Visionary Vault, the first one. Is that right, Jane? Did you get the first one?
It's in one of them. I've looked in them, and I've bought quite a lot of them actually. I had a splash out. But it's
Wonderful.
in one of them. It's in one of the early ones. And so I did copy that out, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, Visionary Vault, it doesn't have a number. It's the first one with about 25 scripts in there. It actually gives you the prompts at the very beginning. I was very generous, and maybe I should retract it. No, I'm joking. But yeah, you'll find them in there.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Andy. Hi, Gwen.
You were talking about the dystonia. Which vault did you use? Because my client that I've just been doing with relationships, she's also got the dystonia problem. So I just wondered which. Okay,
well, I actually used the prompt that Jane was talking about, and I did a lot of research on cervical dystonia, and I also added in there that the client was a musician as well, and he was also interested in analytics because he works within like Bitcoin and things like that. So I put those details in so that the language and the visuals, the metaphors, and that's why he said to me, "Bah, that was right up my alley. That was great." So that was, so it gives you that flexibility to gear things towards your clients.
So it wasn't the quantum healing one. It was.
No, it's the very first one, Visionary Vault, the very first one, which doesn't even have a number. So it goes from Visionary Vault to Visionary Vault 2. Yeah. So it's the one with Visionary Vault. It's the very first one that has the actual prompts within it.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I saw another hand go up there, and then it went down again. Did somebody put the hand up? Any more questions about the Finding Love Again program? Anything that you want expanding on? Siobhan?
Yeah, hi. It's really exciting. I want to thank you. And I personally find it a really great price. So I'm also a divorce and breakup coach and a hypnotherapist. And I've been really frustrated with just the coaching aspect of divorce and breakup, and to the extent that I pulled away from it. But this is a beautiful round. And I just want to clarify that I can, you know, add my signature to this course, and, you know, it's free for us to do with what we will. Is it?
Make it your own.
Okay.
Make it your own. Absolutely.
It's great. Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, when it comes to things like PDFs, then you can go online and for a very sort of small price. In fact, we supply the novel. You get that as a Word document as well as a PDF. So you can change the cover of the novel if you wanted to put your brand on the front.
Nice.
Yeah. But if you wanted to brand anything else in there, you just go online and you find a PDF editor. And I think I Love PDF is one of the things that you can buy. And it's not very expensive. And you can take PDFs and split them and take the front page off and put your own front page on and things like that. So there's a great degree of flexibility. Once you've bought it, it's yours. You can do whatever. The only thing that we say is not publishing the book on Amazon and not publishing the audio files as an audio book. You know, do whatever else you want to do with it, but not actually claiming it's yours. Because as far as we're concerned, technically it's open source, which means that nobody really can put a claim or copyright to it.
Thank you.
If you do, we'll hunt you down.
Well, you know where I live.
You're a long way away. Yeah. Anything else coming up for anybody else? We've kept a great time in here. I mean, it's 5 to 9, which is wonderful. And I understand that, you know, it is a long time to sit and to listen. But if there is any last minute questions, and I will do my best to answer them. I've been living and breathing this for a long time. So, you know, there are no daft questions. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, I'm just I'm interested in how you kind of how you bundle it. How do we sell it? What do we do with the tech? Because that's always my problem.
Okay,
How
well,
does that work?
okay, so you will have those PDFs and all those audio files and everything else, and you get an implementation guide. That's the idea of the implementation guide. Now, when you get into the when you buy it and you get into that page to access the contents, it's very simply laid out where you download this and download this. I've made a video at the beginning of that to tell you what order to do things in, because I don't want people going in there going, oh, I've got 8 items. I'm going to download it all and then go, oh, where do I start? Because that's called overwhelm. And I don't want to overwhelm people. So I explain, you start by familiarizing yourself with the scripts. Now, that doesn't mean learn them by heart. It just means familiarize yourself with the scripts and learn really about what the scripts are about. And there's descriptions about the scripts before the scripts within that PDF. So that's the first thing to do. The second thing to do is always look at it from a customer-facing point of view. So then you go into the client workbook and journal, and you look at what they're going to be looking at, because that will help you to inform you about the way to market this. You can't tell people what you're selling if you don't know what you're selling. So then you go into the customer facing side of it and you look at the workbook and journal. And as I say, it's split, so it's over 6 weeks, and each week follows the format of the scripts. Just like the novel does, the stories in the novel follow the format of the scripts as well. And just like the audiobook does, which is essentially an audible version of the novel. Those are the places to start. Once you've done that, you will get a sense of, an instinct of how you will present that. Now, if you're going to be looking at doing it one-to-one with people, then you know that you're going to be booking 6 sessions with somebody, you know, a discovery call, 6 sessions with somebody, and you know that once they book in, you're going to be sending them the PDF for the workbook, and you're going to be sending them the novel, and you might embed the audios onto your website, so they have to come back to your website to listen to the audios, and essentially you're going to be meeting with them for 6 weeks, and they've got the novel, which you can talk about the stories. I would recommend reading or listening to the novel because it's superb, and you could talk about the issues covered, which are related issues to week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and week 6. So really, it's about familiarizing yourself with what you've got, and it will seem so simple once you've done that. And the tech is, they're all shareable things. MP3s, easy to share, not massive file sizes. PDFs, simple to email to people. But think about this. Is there a course that you've ever seen out there where the actual client gets sent a book to read? I mean, sometimes they'll get, a workbook, an actual novel that relates to the stories so they can follow it in narrative terms, that storytelling or audible. There isn't anything out there like that. We just wanted to push those boundaries and make it extra special. Was there anything else about the tech that you was concerned about, Amanda?
No, it's just that I've never hosted a course, so
Okay.
so I wasn't sure, how that would work.
Okay, well, we do offer one-to-one. We do have a program called the Virtual Package Mastery, where we actually, Ewan and I, take you through that process. It's over 8 weeks. That there is details on that sales page about that, and there is a 10% discount if you buy the Finding Love Again program, so that we can help you turn that into a virtual course that you would brand for you and put out there into the marketplace. And part of that is helping you with the hosting of all the details and the marketing as well, and the workbooks and the branding of it. We literally hold your hand all the way through that process. So that is in there as well. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Thank you.
Thanks, Amanda. And I'm sure a few other people might have been thinking that as well. Naomi.
Yeah, I think that you semi-answered my question. This is my disclaimer. This is the very first time that I come to one of your Zoom sessions, so I'm full of questions, but just in particular with this package, I'm wondering if after you purchase the package, is there any support like similar to this Zoom session that help you with troubleshooting or a Q&A in order for us to implement the our services?
Okay, are you a member of the Therapy Business Club?
No.
No, okay.
I find you in the Facebook, and I sign. So this is my first time. But I'm a hypnotherapist and I'm a coach and I'm an NLP practitioner. So I know I'm in the right spot.
You are, absolutely. You've got all the credentials. Well, we have a membership called Therapy Business Club, and in that membership we have a meeting every week for an hour and a half on a Wednesday evening. We also do pop-up sessions as well. So if you had some technical issues or you wanted some help with something that you was working on, then those are questions that you can bring to those live group sessions with us. We also have within Therapy Business Club, we also have a support ticket area. So you could actually go into that support ticket area and ask us any technical questions that you like. And what we might do is make a screencast video to answer those questions, or we might make a voice recorder, myself and my business partner, Ewan. We would send you a reply that. So it wouldn't be as such holding your hand all the way through the process. If you wanted something like that, then you would really be looking at the virtual package mastery that I talked about previously, where you do meet with us one-to-one, 4 weeks each, and we take you through the whole process. And there is a number of people on this call here who are partway through that process with their own programs, their own individual programs as well. So it's all available. As we say, it's always available at a price, but it's always available.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay. What I'll do, Naomi, I will send you on Facebook, I will send you a link to Therapy Business Club so you can have a look at the membership there. We've got a 14-day trial at the moment. That's ending very soon. But good idea to get in now because prices are changing soon. Okay. Thank you. Okay, look at that. We're 3 minutes past 9. Go on, we've got room for one more question. If anyone's got a question, a burning question, then fire away. Andy.
Hi, Kev. I'm really sorry that this is not a question about the relationship stuff. If that's okay, I know that's what you wanted to talk about. But
no, any question.
I just want to go back to the dystonia thing. So my mum suffers from cervical dystonia. She's actually had invasive brain surgery,
Right.
and still suffers with that. Do you have an available script that you've made for that?
I will share the script with you. I'll
Is
send
that
you.
okay?
I'll send you the PDF that I've created for the client.
Honestly, that'd be amazing. My mum also is a musician too, or was a musician. So if it's got like musician stuff weaved through, it will be perfect for her as well.
Yeah, no, brilliant, brilliant. What a lovely way to end it. Yeah, I will gladly send that to you, Andy.
Thanks so much.
I'll send it via Messenger as a as a PDF.
Thank you. I'll record it for her and she can listen to it.
Wonderful. Great
Thanks,
stuff.
Kev. Thank you very much.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, thank you. Okay, well, I'd like to say thank you to all of you for turning up tonight. If any questions come up, if you've got any questions at all, then both myself and Ewan are available on Messenger. Don't hesitate. If you're in the Therapy Business Club, you can ask us there. If you're in the Hypnosis Business Club, which we run as well, you can always drop a message in there. If you're in the Client Attraction Challenge at the moment, then you could always drop a post in there. So there's plenty of ways of getting in touch with us. And I'd like to say thank you for being here. You made that really, really easy for me. There was a lot to cover, and we've done it in great time. And we've had some great questions as well. So thank you. It's been a pleasure. And good night.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Is that it?